And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gym of the Crypto, episode 1231. Today is Monday, June 10th, 2024, and I'm King, here to bridge the gap between community and crypto most days, Monday through Friday at 10ish. And today's top stories: Bitcoin ETF sucked up 2 months of Bitcoin mining supply in first week of June. Base TVL surges to $8 billion just days after overtaking OP mainnet. Ripple partners with National Bank of Georgia to digitize economy, and New York Stock Exchange Bakkt considers sale is being reported. But first and foremost, of course, let's go ahead and take a quick look at these prices on the day. All right. Bitcoin is coming in, still going sideways. It's a good sign at 69,242. Just changed. $424, down 0.07%. Ethereum at $3,672, down 0.54%. Number 5, Solana at $158.89, down 1.11%. Number 8, Dogecoin at 14 cents, down 1.34%. And number 10, Cardano at 44 cents, up 0.29%. Fear and greed index has went down a few points to 61. Let's see, for our trending top coins, we still have Notcoin, BitGert, and Super Trump. Does Super Trump keep trending? That's crazy. Recently added is Flickr Pro, Anonymous, and Hamster with Hat. Hilarious. Dog with hat, now Hamster. Bitcoin dominance at a 54.1, Ethereum dominance at a 17.5, still bouncing around there. If you notice, Bitcoin dominance has actually went up a couple of points as well. So Bitcoin is strong. It's probably off of the news of this ETF, which we'll go into here in a moment. But first and foremost, of course, got to give some quick shout outs. What's going on? No Cap, Laura Smith, Chloe Dior, Alipio, Wisdom, Simply Hair, Jake. What up, though? JB, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the stream. Let's go ahead and jump to a short show for the day. Not a lot of news stories. It means it's getting a little bit boring and slow again until we get the next big thing happening. But I want to cover some quick stories that's going on in the news, how it will affect the market, all that good fun stuff. Top of the top, Bitcoin ETF sucked up 2 months of Bitcoin mining supply in first week of June. That's right, the first full trading week of June, U.S. Bitcoin ETFs acquired almost as much Bitcoin as they did in the entire month of May. So what does that tell us? A few things. First, when it comes to the price points, we can pretty much, as long as the buying continues, what I kind of said last week or whatever, we can pretty much, be guaranteed to see Bitcoin stay at if the ETF buying continues. Let me be clear about that. I think we can see the Bitcoin price of Bitcoin stay at around where it's at now, if not increase to a quick $5,000 or $10,000 very easily. But what's really going to be critical is to see if that's I don't know. Is this a sign that the capital is slowing down, or is this a sign that the buying is speeding up? And what I mean is kind of what we talked about. I won't go into great detail, but I've already discussed the effects of what would happen if all the capital right now is already assets under management that's essentially being rebalanced or pivoted to another part of the fund. So example, as I said, we got $10 million in steel. We just got this new Bitcoin ETF. You want an aggressive fund, we'll expose some of that $10 million that was over there still. We'll take half of that away. We'll put $5 million toward the Bitcoin ETF, and we'll keep $5 million towards still, but no new money actually came into these companies. So if that is what's happening, I could see this actually slowing down again, because I don't see them doubling and tripling, quadrupling the buys in 1 week as they did in a month. And then we see this same type of buying next week, the week after, week after. Now, if that does happen, which we're about to find out at the end of this week, if we're seeing those numbers still just dwarf the ones we saw in May, where it's like, no, we just had 2 back-to-back weeks in June where both buying weeks were bigger than the month of May. Then that's something to write home about. We get the third one, we get the fourth one. I mean, we got a trend then. But for right now, things will be very interesting to see. Will it continue at this rate? We'll know at the end of this week. If it does, then my goodness, it is time to put in that long bet over on Bitcoin. It's time to trade a long trade for sure. But if we do see this buying power kind of slow down this week and we're not seeing the same numbers, then that means they did all they could, man. That was the last little bit they had, and it's out their system. All right, so we'll see. This will be an important week, this week and next week, to kind of judge the metrics of ETF buys from Bitcoin ETF buys in the United States. But yes, if it continues as strong as it was this week, the next two, then woo, we are not slowing down anytime soon. They are committed to this. However, I think in the next couple of weeks, we see it slow down, where we see this week was this great week that dwarfed all the May. Then the next two are smaller. And it's like, okay, we run out of new capital or old capital to rebalance. But this thing keeps pumping. Oh, they're saying nothing is stopping them, is what they're saying. So I can't wait to see. I think it will be interesting. But again, getting back to this article, let me make sure I didn't miss any important points to it. This is spot Bitcoin ETFs in the US acquired the equivalent of around 2 months. Oh, excuse me. I thought it was one of around 2 months worth of crypto mining supply in the first week of June, with inflows of approximately 1.83 billion. The 11 ETFs brought in 25,729 Bitcoin in the trading week between June 3rd and 7th, around 8 times more than the 31,150 new Bitcoin mined over the same time, according to data from HODL 15 Capital. So again, these are some pretty cool metrics to see. Supply and demand is definitely becoming an action right now, as you see these buys happening throughout the week. It could kind of explain why we get a weekend dip as well. We know this is a traditional market. They stop buying Bitcoin ETFs on the weekend, so that could explain these Monday morning fall offs. But again, I think, if next 24 hours, we won't even need to wait a week. Tomorrow, the price of Bitcoin is where we at right now. We are at 69,000. I mean, if tomorrow the price of Bitcoin is at 71,000, so that's only like what, if a percent or something like that. But if it's around 71,000 or something tomorrow, then that means yes, like we are officially on the Bitcoin ETF trend and train when it comes to pricing and market manipulation. Because if it were to go up a couple thousand the next day or two, then that means those Bitcoin ETF buys that are happening right now as we speak today and tomorrow will be reflected on that price. And if it's a crazy pump we get, then that means that's exactly what's happening. These banks and institutions are doing everything they can to buy up as much Bitcoin ETFs as possible. Listen, I'm still giving them a shout out thus far for keeping it 1-to-1. I would have thought they've already diluted it by now, but they're saying no. They're saying not yet, King. We're going to wait until we get that Dogecoin ETF, and then we're going to dilute that sucker. I'm surprised they haven't diluted it already. All right, in other news, since we're talking ETFs, we know Ethereum is supposed to get one. However, if they keep getting chipped away at, it may not matter as much as we think. Base TBL surges to $8 billion just days after overtaking OP mainnet. That's right. Base has topped the Ethereum Layer 2 leaderboards by transaction count. Now, this, of course, could be manipulated, especially if you get some wash trading going on. But they have, topped the leaderboards of Ethereum Layer 2 by transaction count and has been the most profitable Ethereum scaler for 3 consecutive months. Now, why does this matter to you, especially if you're new and you don't know what I'm talking about? All right, well, Ethereum, of course, is a token, do smart contracts on it, blah, blah, blah. A lot of people look at it as investment, so on and so forth. Well, people are looking at two things when it comes to Ethereum as far as it actually scaling or working, right? They're looking at competitors. Will there be a competitor to beat Ethereum and what it's trying to do before it itself, Ethereum, can really get off the ground? And the second thing is, of course, how much capital people are bringing back from this. So from a tech side of things and from a financial side of things, when you start looking at some of the layer twos, this is what made a lot of people excited about, I'm forgetting the token. I'm about to look it up right now. I always forget this token for whatever reason. We did it in the master class too. If somebody remembers it off the top of their head before me. But I'm about to go down the list. I'm going to see it quick because it used to be in the top 15 or 20. What token is that? That was a layer 2 on Ethereum. Polygon. I'm thinking about Polygon. Okay. So Polygon, essentially, I feel like that's how they had a lot of their volume pump and a lot of people got attracted to. They were making money on the platform. Of course, they had like a $40 million bonus at the time if you were to use it. And then second, like since it was a usable platform token and so on and so forth, people were actually using it. They had a product. We saw the price increase as well. So I say all that to say, for those people who are interested in Polygon, who made money off Polygon, for those people who are interested in Ethereum, people who are interested in Cardano, Base may be the next thing now where we see not only will there be a technological interest where, if that layer 2 is scaling and people are actually using it, then it works. but there'll also be that financial incentive to where, hey, we start getting new tokens on top of this, we start getting new use cases, whatever. As always, the first people in will usually make some capital. If not, an airdrop as well. Who knows what will come from all of this type of layer two. So again, that's base. Layer 2 beat data shows that its TVL as of June 10th is 8.05 billion, including $2.14 billion of canonically, I can never say that word, canonically bridged value assets locked on Ethereum to be represented on base. Essentially, they did the same but different as post-chain, and $5.92 billion in natively minted assets. So this is the Coinbase supported chain, surpassed OP mainnet as the largest chain within the super chain ecosystem last week, and is now the second largest Ethereum scaler in TVL, trailing Arbitrum's one's 18.27 billion. Arbitrum has been doing crazy numbers, made a lot of people a lot of money and stuff. Again, if you're in the financial side of it. So I know we get a little bit of both, but this is a win for both sides. If you're here for the tech, go see what Base can do. If it's a real thing, will creators be able to use it? If you're here for the money, go check out Base, what's being built on it, what's happening next. Either way, it should be pretty good. All right, let's see. What else do we have? No base token, so it don't matter. Not yet, of course. Not yet. I highly doubt, and I mean, I think you can agree, but let me know in the comments. What we've seen in this space has been very rare. Super rare in this space. Any project. I mean, people on the stock market selling mines, all right, mining rigs. It's been very rare that you see any project get a community and don't create a token. I wish it wasn't like that, right? Especially when it's not necessary, because the majority of these tokens, you can literally, it's like, I still ask the same question with over millions of tokens now. Why can't Bitcoin do this? And there's never a clear answer. So majority of the tokens Bitcoin can do and do it better. So there's not even a reason for most of them. So if you have a community, though, I think the token will eventually come. Some sort of token, whether it's attached directly to Base or whether it's another project on it that just happened to have whatever. Somebody's just going to figure out a token in there to get you to start spending that money. That's what I think. So Coinbase would not release one. They don't want those SEC problems. So that was my second thing I was going to say at the end of it, but I saw you pop something up. Lord, that is my other thought of it. I'll almost give you that to where I say, yeah, I won't even go 50 though. There's a 25% chance Coinbase won't release one. You're right, because of the SEC. So I do agree with that. But once again, like, it doesn't mean Coinbase has to do it. Like, we look too linear at these, at a lot of things we've seen, and this space has already showed us nothing is linear. In fact, I was talking about this the other day. Nothing's ever linear. It's hilarious to me. There's so many people right now in America. And it's unfortunate. There's smart people, super professional, working in different industries that I know. And I see them screaming on social media saying, how can Donald Trump run for president again? He's a convicted felon. I thought convicted felons could even vote and do X, Y, and Z. And to that, I'm like, this is the problem with like the world as a whole, in America as well. Why do you keep looking at laws that people made, other people who sat next to you in class, as like concrete, as this linear thing? To me, it isn't linear. Anybody can run for president of the whole world. There's no one stopping anyone from becoming a good-natured leader and taking over the world, or a bad-natured leader and taking over the world. It just happens, okay? So there's nobody stopping anything. I say all that to say this. While I don't think Coinbase may directly launch a token, they will be involved with someone on their layer 2 launching a token, okay? I don't care if it's lost in a bunch of emails or on a Bitcoin forum, or they using Telegram and Signal chats. Somewhere along the lines, the same way when Bcash got released and it froze up on Coinbase, they turned everything off and we don't know what happened. And all the rich people made money, all the normal people couldn't even trade. And Coinbase said, hey, we don't know what happened, but we all know they were involved in that. We're going to see the same thing, okay? Whether it's Coinbase or someone else, you better believe Brian Armstrong and his team will get the. You think somebody going? You think it's about to be billions of dollars made on a base token, on some type of token Coinbase and they're involved in, and they not gonna get a little taste? No, they'll be dipping their fingers all in that. All right, they dipping their fingers all in that one. But no, seriously, I do agree with you on the surface. I don't really see them doing it to piss the SEC off. However, if there's ever a better time to launch things in the face of the SEC, it would be now. Essentially, when they're under attack, because of BlackRock and Fidelity, of course, but by judges, regulators, and politicians alike. And they're actually losing cases. We just saw them lose that one last week to some debt box, I think, or whatever. We saw Ripple take one, so not a lot, but they've taken a couple chinks in the armor. I think it was one other one, 2, 3 total. So we've seen them take about 3 L's so far. So this is the best time for Coinbase to finally say, can't take this shit no more. Today is the day we clap back. Like, this is the time for them to do that. And with if they were to actually do that and launch a token on Base, the capital they could get from that token, they will only need like 15% of that capital to send to a lawyer and to get this ball rolling. Nothing stops. But who knows if Coinbase has, like, if he even wants to do that. If you remember, Brian Armstrong did buy one of the most expensive real estate properties in California. And if I was the government and I'm dealing with Coinbase, Brian Armstrong's giving me a headache, I'm calling up my cronies in California. We already know how we do over here. I mean, it's definitely not fair out here. And being like, hey, he got the house there, right? The one that he loves. What can we talk to me? Let's just make this guy get on the same page as this. So eventually I do think they would, but again, those backroom deals would happen. That's my thought. That is my thought right there. All right. What else do we have going on? Ripple, once again, shout out to Ripple. XRP. To me, this is a coverable story, because talking about the SEC and what they tried to put Ripple through to destroy their company, all because they invented technology. They were first to bat and they started swinging out the park. Then all of a sudden the U.S. is like, no, we got to pitch this different. In fact, we're not even throwing pitches no more. This is they in the penalty box. That's not a rule. It is now. Like, wait, what? I'm talking about Ripple because they did beat the SEC in court. They've been doing the right thing. And honestly, XRP Ripple led with technology. They actually led with technology. They didn't lead with you can make a lot of money with Ripple. Now, has it kind of turned into that a little bit? For sure, as many of these projects have. But Ripple led with technology. When they came out, and this is the reason why, again, I only thought they had about a 4 to 5 year lifespan, only because I saw the government taking over. But they came out with a clear plan and mission. Hey, we want to make transactions faster and seamless and easier for banks and institutions around the world. Governments, banks, and institutions. All right. We don't want to deal with the peer-to-peer. That's what Bitcoin's for. We don't want to do this. But we see an antiquated banking system. We want to fix it. And they did fix it. Let's be real. Now, they didn't do anything Bitcoin didn't do, of course. You just copy some code. You add a couple of little zeros and ones on. But the implementation of it has been wonderful. They have had governments adopted. They have had banks and institutions adopted. And to be clear, right now in America, dealing with traditional banking, you still get a $35 overdraft fee. You try to wire money, it's still like $24 for a wire. On savings accounts, matter of fact, I didn't even realize I was getting charged on this one saving account that I don't keep money in. They charged me like $8 a month for it or whatever. I'm like, bro, what are you like? I have servers. I know IT stuff. Like, what is the $8? There is nothing that costs $8 to have a savings account in your name. That to me is as scammy and as fraudulent as it comes. You talking about the government want to protect you. Why does an empty account get charged Why does any account get charged $8? That is the most. It doesn't cost any. Like, Bitcoin is showing you this. You can keep your money in the Bitcoin wallet for free. All right. So my point is, there's no reason for all these random banking transactions to where if you were to have a bad day in banking, you could literally be down to almost $100, which makes no sense. You have a bad day in banking, you could be down $100. You forgot to put money in your savings account at the end of the month. You try to put money in your savings account, you got charged with overdraft fee. All right, we have $43, 35 plus 8. Yeah, $43 right there. You sent a wire a couple days before. They just took that money out as well. So that's a $24 fee. Oh, you don't have money already? We're going to hit you with another overdraft fee. So let's add that 24 plus another 35. Off the top of my head, that's a 9 I'm feeling. Plus was a 559. Plus what was the first number? I said 43. So let's say 60, 40. Like, all right. So 100 and something, like $102, $303. Like I said, one bad day in banking can set you back $100 and some dollars. If you are working check to check, if you have kids, if you have like this life going on, you might need $100. Thank God for the people who don't need $100 and they could just sneeze it out or whatever, right? I'm thankfully in that position as well. Haven't always been my whole life. I'm definitely there now. But I remember the times where it's like, no, like $3 to $5 can give me a Wendy's meal and keep me pushing till tomorrow. So it's like, I need this $5. And you tell me a bad day in banking can take 100, but you have the likes of Bitcoin and even Ripple, an actual company, saying, hey, we can do all this for pennies on the dollar. Your worst day in Ripple and your worst day in Bitcoin, so long as you don't send somebody the wrong address, capital to the wrong address, your worst day should be $3. $2 to $3 is your worst day, unless also you either send something to the wrong address or you start playing with Ethereum, which is going to cost you hundreds of dollars. But seriously, like a bad day in crypto, as far as transactions go, should be a few dollars instead of $100. That is absolutely crazy. So again, I say all that to say, shout out to Ripple and what they've been doing. They continue to deepen their CBDC collaboration with the Republic of Georgia by exploring ways to digitize the local economy. Now, I also want to be clear, the U.S. will say, fine, King, we hear you. Ripple's been doing great. They're our official CBDC. I would say hell to no, hell to no, hell to no, no, no. I'm not saying all that. I don't want to be anybody. I don't want a private company to be any official CBDC. I don't think it's needed, but we were to have it, then I think it should be nationalized. But I definitely don't want to see any private company because we'll just have the Federal Reserve. But as long as someone's doing it, the Federal Reserve, I love the competition and they're doing it well also. So this is Ripple deepening its ties with the Republic of Georgia. Not the Georgians, not them Georgia boys down in the South, but the Republic of Georgia. We're talking about the who are some of the families over there? The Medicis, weren't they over there somewhere in the neighborhood? By exploring ways to digitize the local economy with the National Bank of Georgia, NBG. Natia Turneva, the acting governor of the National Bank of Georgia, and Varlin Ibanez, yeah, see, these ain't no American names, head of the bank's Financial and Supervisory Technology Development Department, have met with Ripple executive James Wallace to enhance cooperation in financial technology and digitization. And they actually announced this on a LinkedIn post on June 8th. Shout out to the LinkedIn crowd. Ooh, not even wearing ties to the meeting. All right, spicy out there. At the meeting, Wallace, who serves as Ripple's vice president of central bank engagements, introduced the Georgian officials to Alistair Brown, a representative of Ripple's partner, EPAM Systems. And really quick, I want to shout out Wallace for his actual job. I want to ensure people who are watching know these jobs exist. My man's entire job is to shake hands and kiss babies. I've had this job in the military before. His only job is to engage with central banks. Go have a meeting, have the $3,000 dinner, a couple of bottles of wine, everything on the menu. If you know how it goes, you know how it goes. Again, you shake some hands, you take them out, they want to go out, you take them to the game, they want to go to the game, blah, blah, blah. Now, let me show you what Ripple can do for you for 5 minutes. I already did my due diligence, but I'll take a peek. Wow, this is amazing. It's fast. And how much is it going to save us? You got yourself a deal. It's that easy, all right? But that's a pretty cool job to have for people who are watching and listening. You can definitely do that for some of these crypto projects. Essentially sales. I mean, it's really a salesman role, salesman or woman role, but you just get on one of these crypto projects, whatever it is, and say, hey, let me introduce you to gas stations. Let me introduce you to banks. Let me introduce you to whatever. Even if they say no, do the groundwork for them. I'm telling you, if you can get a bank, a gas station, a liquor store, whatever, to say yes to a crypto project, you hit that project back up and say, I already have a yes. I just need you to sign on the dotted line and give me my consulting fee. Then you are officially in the world of crypto. You're a consultant, blah, blah, blah. You're a salesperson. You made business happen. You have a reference and you're on your way. So it's kind of, this is definitely a great market to just jump into a new career and job. And that's kind of a few of them for those who are paying attention right there. But again, shout out to this collaboration. You can read more about it if you want. But the bottom line is Bank of Georgia, they're betting on Ripple. They said we're going to go with them. And again, caught me off guard. I thought by this time, also I thought we have mass adoption, but I thought by this time the U.S. And every other government would have dwarfed them as far as CBDCs come, but it looks like it's happening slower than it is. So, hey, shout out to Ripple to any type of market share they could take. Honestly, I'm rooting for them even more now because it's almost like bricks to me. For every part of the market Ripple can take over, it's going to slow down the Federal Reserve and slow down gang, and not just our gang, every gang from just doing what they want. So as long as you have strong competitors like Ripple, is giving other countries, other banks, everyone else an option to say, do I want to do Bitcoin? Do I want to do the US dollar? Do I want to do bricks? Whatever. What do I want to do? Is giving that option. And again, I think this is a good thing, especially with the way our government's been acting. All right. I don't feel confident in saying, yeah, whatever our government wants, we're going to do and get in crypto. Like, hell to no, 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 not right now. Let Ripple cook a little bit longer and see what happens. All right, before this last story, let me check out some of these comments before I call it a day. Let's see. What's a good credit card company I can use a Bitcoin? Off the top of my head, I can't think of a credit. I think this is Fold Credit, or is that just a Bitcoin one? I know BitPay does rewards. I'm not sure if they still do or if it uses it as credit. But I'm not sure how many actual credit ones we have, and that's because technically you will get the points back. It'll be a whole system. But I know we got a lot of debit ones, so they still actually give points as well. Coinbase coin is Ethereum. Hilarious. Is Kraken ever released theirs? Their token or whatever. I'm not sure. Let's see. Coinbase is going to control everything. Ethereum is their BITCH. I can agree to that for the most part. Ethereum let it happen though, so we'll see. Let's see. Brian Armstrong refinanced that house already and spending that loan money tax free. Oh, that's a good point. That's a great point. Brian Armstrong, that would be smart. You refinance the house, where you get what, $100 million in loan money? Yeah, I mean, makes a lot of sense. Let me stop acting like I know about wealthy people business when I don't. How super people use Solana that's not on Ethereum. Too much TBL going in the base. Also, BlackRock is one of their. BlackRock is on base. I didn't know that, but fix is in. You all know how it goes. The fix is in. Okay, we're talking about Solana using Visa. Yeah, I agree with Lord. In the next 5 years, for sure, a lot of changes are going to be going good. The consolidation changed the bubble. It got extended. The traditional market doesn't even want the bubble to pop yet. Not when you have the possibility of doing an ETF of everything or anything you want. So until we sort out the ETF and what's going to happen there, the bubble continues. We're going to kick the can down the road. I agree with Lord. There will be multiple chains, all having communities and power behind them. I do think eventually they will consolidate, because it will come to a day where it's just like, I hope, unless this market is going to be derivative crazy and people just really don't know what they're investing in. But hopefully in the next 2 or 3 years, it comes to a day where we're really looking at these projects and like, all right, all of you over here don't do anything as far as when it comes to making this a financial product on the traditional side. It just, not only does it not make sense to do it, it could always almost be seen as fraudulent, or it could end very badly. So maybe it's just too volatile, right? I'm hoping that happens and we see these projects consolidate. But yes, if that does not happen, Lord's right. You can see essentially a ton of different chains, especially if our regulatory environment isn't actually regulating things. They're saying, as long as you say things a certain way, as long as you tell people they can lose their money, then you're fine to go. Dogecoin can become an ETF, and they don't really care that it's a billion plus tokens or whatever. They just care that you've told people there's a billion plus tokens. So it's all going to depend on how the regulatory environment shapes up. But I'm with you. It could last. Remember EOS? Hey, ask what you call it? CB Crypto Blood. That's EOS right there. So he might have more info on that. But I mean, it's funny you say remember EOS, because God, this is why I love the show. You all help me segue. For the next story, it has a lot to do with the likes of EOS. You remember EOS had like $1 billion ICO, people. Too much money. At the time of ICOs like EOS and other ones, I was like, there is no ICO that needs $200 million. There's no ICO that needs $100 million. We should have started capping them shits at 10 to 12 million. And that's a lot of money too. That 10 to 12 million is more than enough to get you 5 to 6 rock star developers at least for a year or two to go crazy working on it. I know the numbers got crazy, but stop it. $1 billion. And the reason why this is a segue is because, like this next story, it showed that money and Wall Street and notoriety and regulators and politicians and every little cheat code you could put in still won't win you the crypto game. Okay. This is the great equalizer. This is water. They call water the great equalizer, because when you're in the water, either you know what you're doing or you don't, and most people don't. So it's called the great equalizer, where you go fight somebody in the pool in the deep end. I bet you, hey, go fight for your life in the deep end against somebody bigger than you or whatever. I guarantee that fight's going to be a lot even in the water than what it would be on the land. Okay, it's a great equalizer. And so is Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, because it doesn't matter how much money you have, how many people you know, this, that, and the other, you still can come in this market and get slapped. And that's what New York Stock Exchange Bakkt is realizing as they consider a sale. It's being reported insiders who spoke to Bloomberg say a breakup of the company, a sale, or the decision to maintain its current structure are all on the table. Ooh, already. Bakkt, a crypto platform, if you remember, launched by the parent company of the New York Stock Exchange, is reportedly considering the sale of the firm or breaking up the company into smaller entities, insiders told Bloomberg. Now, unless this was actually created only to do fraudulent shit, to launder money, to insider trade, to wash trade, or whatever, unless it was only created to do fraudulent activities, then this is a big fail. It is a big L for the New York Stock Exchange and everyone involved with this shit project, which, by the way, when it came out, I think everyone in the space was like, who, what, why, like, what's going on? Like, what is this? Why do we need it? What's going on? Okay. And that question has been answered. We don't know who they are. We don't know why why we need it. They won't be here long. Like, these questions have now been answered. There's no need for it. The board may also choose to maintain Bakkt's current structure and forego a sale or breakup of the company altogether. The sources explains to the outlet. Like I said, unless you create this company to do fraudulent stuff and it was never supposed to succeed, this was a failure of failures. News of the potential sale followed several high-profile acquisitions and takeover offers in the crypto space. Robinhood's acquisition of the Big Step Exchange. I didn't even know that, but talking about buying a bag. And CoreWeave's unsolicited offer to buy out Bitcoin miner Core Scientific. I wouldn't trust that one. Bakkt has been suffering from poor performance in the market. The crypto company's share price. Listen to this. This is a crypto company's share price in 2024 when nothing but everything has been pumping. They started off the year at $59.57, and right now they're at about $19. How do you lose over your half of your market share when the entire market is pumping? Unless you are a shit project. You remember whenever I show you those graphs and I show you the graphs that all look alike because they're all pumping at the same time, and I'm like, all right, those are all clearly pumping dumps. This is worse. This is one of those charts like the hex chart. Speaking of which, I haven't seen that in a while. Let me look it up in the background. It's the last thing today. You all wanted to start. I wanted to finish. Okay. But made me forget my whole thought process. But it looks like Hex or some of these other tokens to where they didn't even pump with the pump and dumps of the market. It's just like a slow death. This is crazy to see. And this is the problem with the derivatives of the space, the Bitcoin ETFs. This is the problem. While the Bitcoin ETFs are doing good, better, wherever, and maybe, not even maybe, I guarantee some of the smaller ETFs, they're going to either close down or have to sell their ETFs to the BlackRocks and bigger companies of the world to save their skin. But once that happens, like, we're going to see these blue chips supposedly only supposed to win and all these other projects lose and go down. Is a great equalizer. This space is showing you it doesn't matter how many resources you come in with, unless you're going to do a million YouTubes that says this is about to pump 10,000%. There is no way you're taking over, and if you do, not for long. But again, it's crazy to see this New York Stock Exchange Bakkt. It looks like they may be selling. Who knows what they're going to do? It looks like in 2023 they had $780 million as revenue. However, if you ever watch Shark Tank, you know that revenue doesn't always mean profit. So who knows what those balance sheets actually look like? But it does look like this is the slow roll and the slow end of Bakkt. So unfortunate, but kind of figured that and kind of saw it coming. Woo! Let's see. Crypto in Focus said the Bitcoin XRP chart is disgusting. I haven't seen it in a while, but I'm assuming XRP is down on Bitcoin by a shit ton. Let me see what it says though. Like, let me know if I'm right or wrong. Now, I'm assuming it's down on Bitcoin by a lot. I'm about to look at this chart really quick, see if I can take a quick peek at XRP compared to Bitcoin. I can't see it right now. Let me know in the comments if it's up or down on Bitcoin. I'm assuming it's down. Most tokens are down pretty far on Bitcoin though. You got to understand that. So even when they have, that's what we mean when they have their crazy percent swings, it's like it's still not as much as what Bitcoin did. All right, and last but not least, I just want to show you all this graph. Just to remind the Hex crowd, you know, that was the latest crowd that banged on us. You remember it was the BitConnect crowd, game banged on me too. I had some of y'all chainly kind of throw up some signs at me and drove by one day. It's been a few different companies. Oh, what's the one that went down? What's the old boy? What's the Korean or is it Singapore guy who the one who kicked off 2022 before FTX and everything else? I forgot. His crowd was Terra Luna. Terra Luna, y'all, some of y'all was banging on me too. Terra Luna came through throwing up signs and saying some words to me too. Yeah, thank you, Crypto and Focus. It was Luna, but oh my goodness, I had never been banged on like I did with Hex. Like real, I'm in LA. The game bangers in LA ain't got at me like Hex people did. Oh my goodness, these Hexicans, you all were a delightful bunch. I was in for the first time in my life, really. I was invited to a man's genital area, all because I didn't fully agree with this being the future of the economy. Can you believe it? But anyway, we're going to look at it. This thing is now at 0.001 cent. Oh my goodness. What did it do last year? Down 81% last year. There you go. Last month, down 30%. All time, though, you know, they will make you believe you could have bought your house because it is up 600%. They did have a pump before, one great pump, and it's been downhill from there. So, what does this say over here? Hex buyers will exit liquidity. Wow, look at this one. I love looking at the comments over here. Wow, 33 was it 333,717 holders and still losing money. Guys, take a look and buy. Oh, they're telling them to buy something else. Yeah, so over 300,000 holders still losing money. I understand the Hex T-shares, they'll tell you they're still making money. I get it. Yeah. All right. Yeah, Hex, y'all got sold garbage. Is it time to DCA in the Hex now? Hex, who is buying this garbage? Seriously, guys, put your money into AI. You'll actually make. I agree. At this point, cut your Hex loss, put your money in AI. But yeah, I don't know. I like going back to projects like these because the people were so fervent as far as how smart they were and how life was changing. What happened to next? The Hex. I don't even remember the name anymore. Yeah, I'm spinning this block. Listen, hey, they not like us, all right? I'm spinning this headshots all year. I'm using nothing but K dot lines on hexagons, all right? There was only one or two good hexagons. The rest of them, they all could go for all I care. All right, that's the show for today. Make sure you smash that like and share. I want to do this last comment from 11 Super Mario. Say I can agree with the ETF angle. I didn't know Solana's with Visa. Investors will want to wait for what happens with Ethereum ETF, but I've been really digging into the base, and the fix is in. Yeah, oh yeah, the fix is definitely in. No, I'm thinking the same thing. A lot of people want to see what's going to happen. If the Ethereum ETF doesn't go through, oh, it's all this pipe dream. We got to figure out the next best thing. But if it does go through, we're rolling. Smash that like and share as always.